How would you like to improve your health and keep your family safe? You're listening to the Healthy Home Hacks Podcast, where we firmly believe enjoying optimal health shouldn't be a luxury. Healthy Home Authorities and husband and wife team Ron and Lisa will help you create a home environment that will level up your health. It's time to hear from the experts. Listen in on honest conversations and gain the best tips and advice. If you're ready to dive in and improve your well-being and increase your energy, you're in the right place. All right, here are your hosts, Bao biologists, authors, media darlings, vicarious vegans, and avocado aficionados, Ron and Lisa Barris.
What if you could harness the energy of your luckiest numbers to radically improve your life, accomplish your goals, and bring success and wealth to your home or business? Guess what? You can. Jesse Kelsey is a world-renowned numerologist. You may remember him from episode number 85. Jesse specializes in residential and business numerology and provides valuable insights on the power of numbers and how they affect our lives. In his books, The Power of Home Numbers and All About Numbers, Jesse combines his Eastern upbringing with his Western experience to bring awareness and understanding of this phenomenon. And he's offering Ron and Lisa listeners $50 off any consultation. We did one and highly recommend it. Just use code Ron and Lisa at checkout. We'll have the code and the links in the show notes at bit.ly/Jesse Kelsey. And that's bit.ly/JESSEKALSI.
It's not necessary to have a life of struggle with money. Ken Honda. Show of hands, who wants more money this year? Silly question, right? We can all do with a bit more money in 2024, yes? But for the money to start rolling in, consider that you first may have to change your mindset around money.
Money can bring us joy, but it can also bring unbelievable stress and fear and frustration and unhappiness. It isn't any wonder that we would unconsciously push money away when it brings us some negative feelings. But the more we push money away, the more unhappy we become with our money and our life. But we can change our relationship with money and open the channels to happiness. After all, money is energy. It can be happy or unhappy. Friends, you are gonna love today's show. We're sharing a few money mindset resolutions for 2024 from one of the world's most acclaimed money and prosperity experts, Zen millionaire Ken Honda.
Ken is Japan's #1 best-selling personal development guru and author of Happy Money, The Japanese Art of Making Peace with Your Money, with book sales surpassing 8 million copies. By understanding the emotions that often unconsciously rule us around money, Ken says that we can break the unhealthy patterns that keep us trapped in a stressful and unhappy life. And Ken is here to talk about 6 money mindset resolutions for 2024. Welcome to the show, Ken. Yes.
Hello, hi, Ron, Lisa. I'm so excited as you are. You two are passionate fireballs.
Well, you had us at money, Ken. We are ready to go. We're ready to be abundant and get all these tips for 2024 and just take it to the moon, right?
All right.
Yes, everybody needs to hear this. Thank you so much for being with us, Ken.
Thank you. Honor is mine.
Welcome, Ken. A lot of people are going to appreciate this show. The world can seem very unstable today with rising inflation, interest rates, so much chaos and uncertainty going on. So let's dive right in with your 6 mindset resolutions. What's the first one that has to do with gratitude?
So my mentor, Wahei Takeda, who used to be called Warren Buffett of Japan, when I had 30 seconds of his time, what would you ask Warren Buffett? I said, what is the secret of money? And he answered with a big smile. He said, arigato, your money. Arigato, your money? I wanted to ask another question about that, but I got pushed out of the.
Oh.
So a few weeks later, I had another opportunity to ask him about this. But he said the same thing. Arigato your money. Thank you, money. Say thank you. When money comes in, say thank you. When money leaves you, when you pay your bill, you say thank you. When you get a check or when you see the money is in your bank account online, you can say arigato. Thank you. Sheshe. Gracias. Whichever the language you want to use, it'd be cool if you use a foreign language for you. I use thank you
Oh, you
or
do? It's good to switch it?
yeah, merci. Yeah, it sounds cool for me. Arigato is a little boring. So maybe you can use arigato or gracias. Could be a foreign language because it's kind of fun. So
Yeah.
thank you, money always.
Origato, because, obviously anyone who's eaten sushi here in America knows origato because
Right.
every time you leave the restaurant,
Yeah.
the chefs are so sweet and they always bow and say origato. And it's such an honor. It's like they honor you as the customer. And I always just thought that was so beautiful. By the way, I love Japanese
Uh-huh.
culture. I happen to
Oh.
love Japanese everything, the people, the culture, just so much about it. But that, you're right. We thank when we get things, but we
Mhm.
don't always thank when we're giving, right? When we pay a bill or when we do something maybe with our money that isn't glamorous or fun or exciting, right?
Right. Because unfortunately, a lot of us feel squeezed when we see our bank account online. And also, we feel frustrated when we have to pay the bills, especially taxes.
Especially taxes.
When you feel appreciation when you pay taxes, because your tax money will go into support hospitals and schools and all the other good things, as well as bad things. But just if you can imagine your money well spent on welfare, so you feel good. So whatever you can appreciate, it grows. So I suggest thanking your money is the first one.
Okay, I love
Well, that's
that.
excellent. And you actually beat me to the punch because I was going to ask you a question. Ken, what happens if you get a parking ticket?
Uh-huh.
But the same
You
same
still have to think
concept, right?
that?
No, well, the ticket now, the money for that's going to go to the city.
Yes.
Which is going to help the people. So, Ken, you've already shifted my mindset. I feel like I'm ready for 2024.
I actually got a ticket, the other day because I was supposed to stop, but I didn't. So I got a ticket and I got fined something like $80 or something. And then I thought, okay, since I got fined for this one, I'll be more careful next time, when I see stop sign. So I can prevent future potential accidents, by getting $100. That's like, oh, good. It's like an insurance for me.
Yeah, that's a great point.
By paying this money, I will not get into car accidents in my entire life. It sounds like a pretty good insurance policy, isn't it?
Yes, that's right. One time, was that in LA, your parking ticket?
It's in Tokyo.
Oh, Tokyo. Okay. I was going to say they're ruthless here on the 405. I was driving once with my mom and we were in a hurry and it was night. And yes, the carpool lane was a solid line, but we're like, no one will see. I'll quickly zip over into the other lane. And sure enough, I got caught. The cop came and pulled me over and it was a $400 ticket. I was so upset. Yeah, it's crazy. It's probably even more now. I was carpooling. My mom was with me. I just crossed the solid line. But you know what, Ken? I never, ever, ever crossed that line. I have never crossed that line since.
Good
I'm
for
not going
you.
to make that expensive mistake again.
For sure. Well, Ken, I know there's a few more resolutions for a good mindset in 2024. Can you share with us what is the number 2 mindset that we should be in with appreciation?
Okay. So appreciate what you currently have. That means probably a roof over your head and some clothes, some shoes. Even if you don't have a car, if you have a bus, public transportation system, that's something you can appreciate. If you have a friend or a partner, that's another thing that you can appreciate about. So there are so many small things that you can appreciate about, but we tend to complain about the things we don't have. My iPhone is not the newest, or like my clothesline is probably in Los Angeles Mall. My outfit is not the most, it's not 2024. This is like bought it 3 years ago. I mean, they look the same, but there could be millions of other things if you stop complaining about. So if you can appreciate what you currently have and your health, your time, or your situation, and you feel very good about your life.
Yeah, an attitude of gratitude. I think that I learned that years ago from Abraham Hicks. Going down to like a really basic, like the sheets on your bed, like appreciating a warm bed. I mean, you look at homeless people, there's a lot of homeless in LA and a lot of big cities now. And like just appreciating a bed, a warm place to rest your head, getting into that. And I think, would you agree with this, Ken? Sometimes people get stuck in, oh, well, if I stay too much in that energy, I won't attract more. Is that something that you
Mhm.
hear, right? Like if I stay too much in a complacent, like everything's so great where it is, then does that keep you from attracting something greater? How would you balance that energy?
There are many ways to look at things. Some people always just go hungry, stay hungry, and they keep pushing, pushing, pushing. And this type of people don't find satisfaction in their life. But you can be 100% satisfied and then you can grow at the same time. For example, I have nothing to complain about in my life, but now I'm being offered new opportunities to be able to offer my books in English. That's another big opportunities and also a lot of excitement. So I'm 100% happy with where I am, but I can be 130% happier this year. So that is the attitude. You can be full, but you can be more full as your money container grows.
Right. The higher vibration you are,
Mhm.
you're going to attract more high vibration, right?
Yes, I agree with you.
Right. And so it's interesting. This has been such a big journey for Ron and I think, like learning this and not getting stuck because people will do this when everything's going great, right? They're like, yay, especially at the new year, like, oh, hey, I'm going to have a great mindset. Boom, something happens, right? Something happens. They get unexpected, their AC breaks or something. And they're like, oh, okay, forget it. The year, is doomed or, they'll, they'll spiral down really quick and think, oh, their good attitude wasn't working, right?
Right.
That's what they'll do. And then that'll be their excuse to get back into their negative thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Ken, I'm curious. Have you always been appreciative your whole life? Even as a child, did you always have this mindset or did you develop this as an adult?
Oh, this is something I learned with sweet and bitter memories. My father was a very successful guy in his 20s, but after my father's best friend slash his client committed family suicide, he went into a deep depression. He lost his mother, my grandmother. A few things happened at the same time. So his hero was Elvis Presley, believe it or not. Was just playing guitar. He always made jokes. But after my father's best friend's suicide, he went down the hill and became very abusive to himself and to our family. So we suffered a lot from his addictive behaviors. So it took me a while to heal ourselves, heal myself and my family members. And after I got married, I took 4 years off of my life for my baby girl, who's now 25, and she's a professional singer now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, her name is Stella Venus.
Oh,
It's going to have album in English world as well. So that's why we are here in Hollywood. I have so many appreciations now, but life wasn't so easy. So these things are something that you can acquire by just sort of like train yourself. Muscle for appreciation is trainable.
Okay.
I love that. Yeah. So people can't look at you and go, oh, well, it's easy. Maybe you always had money, because people will say that too sometimes, right? Like,
Right. Yeah.
yeah, that person was born into money. And so,
Yes, I'm a happy panda, but I train myself to be that.
I love it.
Very good.
So, Ken, please share how our mindset is important when it comes to creating money.
Okay. That's number 3. Adopt your abundance mindset. This is something also I learned from my mentor, Wahe Takeda. He used to carry gold coins. Whenever he sees a beautiful smile, like somebody serving our table in a restaurant, he says, you have the best smile. Lisa, you definitely got his gift. He pulls out his real solid gold coin and gave it to that person.
Oh, wow.
And for a lot of people, it's the first time in their life to have something so tiny but so heavy.
Yeah.
No, it's a solid gold coin. And she'd say, for me?
Oh, wow.
And after that, she cries and everything. And then my mentor just so smiling and so happy. Oh, wow, that's beautiful. But you lost your gold coin. And is that okay? And he said, no, I did the fine shopping. I asked him, what did you shop? He said, if you get a gold coin for your smile, what would you do after that? And I said, of course, she'll keep smiling more to her family, to her husband or kids or the colleagues or the customers, right? In other words, I bought the lifetime smile of hers with only like $1,000. That's a great bargain, isn't it? And he was laughing and had a cup of coffee. Like, that is a abundant mindset.
That's amazing.
We tend to feel when we spend money, when we give, we feel like we lose money.
Yeah.
But think about it. When we spend money, that means we receive something in return. When we say the restaurant bill is like $200, that means like we enjoy the food and the beautiful atmosphere and the friendship because they serve good food. There's a reason to appreciate. So nothing diminished it. So instead, money was exchanged for fun, a nice memory, and a deeper friendship. So actually, when you spend money, you're not losing anything. So when you start thinking life that way, actually, your life is in constant growth. Not just you're gone, so I'm less fortunate. No, you are more abundant in so many ways. Once you can see it, this mindset in your heart, you grow more.
Wow.
Wow. That's very kind.
Imagine if we learned that when we were young. We could have saved a lot of heartache.
So true.
Ken, the irony of all this is that you mentioned this gold coin story, and I'm holding a lucky silver coin. This is a virtual share with you, right? So silver, not quite high as gold, but this is a heavy metal, right? Valuable. So we'll use that as a metaphor of positivity for this podcast. We'll do that.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you for sharing.
A virtual share.
You're also, what he said, if you don't have the money to share or knowledge, you can share your smile.
Oh.
He believed in strong smiles, and both of you have that. So if you keep smiling, people smile at you. When you smile, the world will smile back at you.
Wow,
so
that's true.
That's his teaching.
That's beautiful. I agree with that because, especially at the holidays, people want to help and give. And, people are stretched thin sometimes and feel like, they can't do everything. But yeah, I always say, well, give your time. If you don't have money, we've done the soup kitchens a couple times and volunteered. And there's so many people that need help. It doesn't have to be money, but you're right. Even just a compliment, a smile to somebody, it's amazing how much their face lights up, right?
Yes. So when you feel a little depressed, I try to come up with, I go over my friend's name with my phone and then just find one person and just text him or her saying, hello, how are you? I miss you. Thank you so much. You're so nice friend for me. I just write a few emails and just wish them, happy life. And so after a few emails, I feel usually better and happier.
Oh, if you're feeling down. Yeah.
So that is something you can do too. Just say, hi, how are you? It doesn't cost anything, but it will definitely make you feel much better. So
yeah,
I
that's
suggest
beautiful.
You can do that.
Do you meditate every day and do you recommend that?
Yes. And also for me, my life is meditation. So I'm meditating with you, like having fun.
Yeah. Well, how about this? We're going to get to the fourth mindset resolution coming up, but I was curious to help your energy, because we all believe in energy and, having a positive outlook. Do you ever use music to complement that? And what I mean by that, background music to tap into a higher frequency?
Yes, definitely. I was in New Orleans a few days ago with my author friends, and I really enjoy jazz. I love America.
I love jazz.
Yeah, for that. And I'm in Hollywood. I need to go to jazz and other classical concerts and all sorts of things. And my wife is a musician and my daughter's a musician. So I'm surrounded by music. And I have a few studies in my retreat center, in my home. I have several homes. And I have a special Yamaha stereo set that plays good classical music, good rock and roll, good jazz, Depending on my mood, I just choose the room. So music really helps me create books.
I love that. Yeah, there's so many tips we can do to raise our mood. Music, you're right, getting out of nature, getting out of that funk. If you're in a funk is really important. Not staying in there, right? Not staying down too long. You just got to move through that because it's not good. You don't want to stay in depression in that too long.
Well, we teased what I wanted to ask you next. What is the fourth mindset resolution we need to attract more money?
This could be a little tricky one because this is hardest. Number 4 is trust life.
Oh.
So the biggest money worries or life worries come from not trusting. Because when we spend money, when we're out of job and cannot seem to find the next one, we worry. What if I just cannot pay the rent? Or what if I lose my house? What if I cannot find a good job, a good partner? Whatever that is, worry is a killer for many people.
Yeah.
It's because we cannot trust life. If we can trust life, okay, this is just temporary, it'll be fine. But we cannot feel that way. I'm sure most of us have spent sleepless nights because we just cannot get off of bad images that will be jobless, partnerless, or kidless, or whatever the,
Yeah.
situation. So trust life is the hardest one, but yet very important one.
Yeah, I agree with that. There's a higher power, right? That is protecting us and wants the best for us. And we fight that sometimes because we think we know what's best. And I think that that's a really important part. I mean, people generally don't trust. They want to control the outcomes. And usually that ends up messing things up. Right?
Yeah, it's so true.
Well, Ken, we're going to have listeners that say, okay, well, I've tried trust before and that's really hard. So what would you tell them? Like, how do you trust so easily that everything's going to work out?
Or someone who said, let's say, I trusted that this sick person was going to get better and they didn't.
Mm-hmm.
How could I trust again?
That's not a trust, that's an expectation. You expected that he or she will heal. Eventually, all of us are going to die. So it's not realistic to trust that I'm not going to die. We all die. So if we expect things, we just dig a hole for depression or betrayal. So I don't expect anything in my life. Actually, a lot of people think, oh, so you have no expectation about your future? Actually, no. And also, I don't judge things. When something shows up in my life, I don't judge this is great, this is not great, because you never know. So when something appears in my life, this could be good, this could be bad, but as long as it's in front of me, I embrace it. So socially, sometimes it's good. Socially, sometimes it's not good, like losing money and all that, right? But whatever shows up in my life, it shows up for a reason, which I cannot understand right on the spot. But just after 5 years, I'll have enough intelligence to be able to say, wow, that's good. Because I read actually American statistics somewhere, psychology magazine, that 95% of American people believe the worst thing that ever happened to their life turned out to be something better, like losing your job or losing your loved ones. And at the time, it's so bad. But after a few years, because you lost a job, because you're betrayed by a partner, you find somebody better, something better. So when we are deprived of something, we feel hurt. We feel like life is betraying us, or like life is treating us so unfairly. But give it a few years, it usually turns out good.
Yeah, that's a really, really powerful point. Yeah, because it's like the bird's eye perspective. We can't see it from that big vantage point when we're in pain in some area. But I always say to Ron, let's zoom out. Like whenever we're going through a challenge of any kind, let's zoom out and try to see it from a bigger perspective. And I always say the universe, God, whatever people use, knows things we don't know, can see things that we can't see.
So true.
Now, Ken, this is a tough one. So what if we don't trust? Does that mean we're not going to get the benefit from that experience and something else will happen instead?
Not trusting is a form of trusting. You're trusting bad future will be there.
I see.
You're trusting negative future. You're trusting one thing or another. It's almost like you're connecting with a certain Wi-Fi. If you're connected with beautiful Wi-Fi, you see all the great things. And if you're connected with bad Wi-Fi, all the bad things start pouring in. So the most important thing is take care of your heart and mind. Otherwise, you keep getting nightmares and in dreams, and also while you're awake. So you have to be responsible for feeding your mind and heart good stuff.
Oh, amen to that.
Like this program.
Literally, Ron and I have a thing. Our listeners probably know this because I've talked about it a lot. We don't watch anything negative. We don't watch any violence or killing or even movies with like infidelity and, which is like, there's 0.0005% of choices that we have. Because like so many of the movies and TV shows.
We're barely watching cartoons, Lisa.
Even some of the cartoons, I'm like, no. But yeah, so it's become like a little small window, of what we can watch. But, I would have nightmares and dreams, and I would have nightmares like if I watched way back when I watched murder shows, like then I would constantly think someone was going to come in and attack me, or whatever. And I was like, this isn't healthy. This isn't helping me. And so we started like together consciously saying, no, we're not going to flood our mind with anything negative. It takes discipline because it's not always easy. It's not like you can always find something, but then you figure out something else, hey, we're going to play chess, or we're going to listen to music, or we're going to talk or do a hobby. The TV shouldn't be our world anyway, but Yeah, I found that helped me so much by just, how do you feel about news? Like, do you just avoid it, kind of get what you need to know, but avoid immersing in it?
Yes, I'm not avoiding anything. When it comes, it just kind of flows out. So it's like I have no judgment whether it's good or bad because it takes some effort. Is this good or bad? Is it positive or negative? Whatever
Uh-huh.
happens, I welcome it and then let it go.
Let it go.
Let it go. It could be bad, it could be good. It's more zen. I try not to judge something as positive or negative. I don't need to have energy or like a guy,
Yeah.
like a security person who just makes sure that, okay, you can let this in or not. It just flows in, flows out. My mentor, Wahid Takeda, was famous and he's well known for his wealth, but he didn't have a bodyguard. He didn't even have a guard guarding his house.
Oh, wow.
He had his house wide open, no locks.
Wow.
Wow.
And I asked him, I think you should have at least a lock.
Yeah, right. A lock, like just that deadbolt.
Yes. And he said, if you have no protection, he said, no defense, no attack. So if you don't defend yourself, and then there cannot be any attack. And he was in total surrender. So if bad people come in and just try to steal things, they will. But I don't trust that. So I was a little worried about that, to be honest. He was so defenseless. So I'm learning to be defenseless. You can be powerful and loving and open. So if you are in total surrender without judging anything, I think you can find positive energy in you naturally.
Wow, that's really
very
cool.
good.
Okay, he is definitely the master.
Yeah.
That's a level of trust. Yeah, I don't think most of us are going to get to. Okay, so many people hold resentment around money. So and so borrowed money and didn't pay them back, or they got a bill that they didn't feel like was fair. How is the fifth tip that you're going to share with us helpful for people struggling with this, resenting money?
Thank you. You keep asking great questions. So the number 5 is forgive and heal your money wounds. I'm often called money healer because I deal with people's childhood and also relationship issues around money. I've heard it so many times when I was doing accounting and also when I do a counseling, and then when they want to ask me about goal manifestation, their money wounds kind of like got stuck in the way. Like when I was 15, I wanted to come to LA so badly. There was a homestay program 40 years ago, but I just wanted to study English. I loved American movies. And so I tried to bring it out to my mom and I asked her, do you think dad would say yes? And she said, okay, you can talk about this with your dad when he's in a good mood. I told you, my father is alcoholic and very addictive and abusive. He's never be in a good mood. So in my household, you can talk to him whenever he's in a good mood means never. So I just wanted to come to LA so badly. And my friends all came. And then I saw the airplane going to, probably the LA. I wanted to shoot it down with a bazooka. I never had any dark emotions, but I definitely had. So when you 13 or 10, you wanted something so badly for your birthday gift, presents, and you wanted to go to summer camps but you were the only one because you can afford it. That really hurts. And that hurt stays with you, even though you're 40s or 50s. And I helped one man heal his money wounds when he's 75. Can you believe that?
Oh, wow. It's never too late.
It happened 50 years ago.
Wow. It could be just one incident like that, Ken. Like you could have had one moment and then that could keep creating blockages.
Right.
You don't even know the root of that.
So the guy who just talked about it is almost 50 years ago when the electric typewriter was in the market. Can you believe it? Electric typewriter
Wow.
in the 1960s or 70s. He wanted to get money for his college, right? To pay the tuition. And then he sold this electric type machine, IBM machine, to an old lady who was not likely to use it. But he had to make a sale to pay his college. And then he felt so bad. He attended my Happy Money seminar in New York. And he talked about it. He was almost in tears, I so regretted that I did that. I'm a very honest person, but that was not so right. So I told him, why don't you just donate the same amount of money that you made and then just donate it to charity. You have enough money, right? Yeah, that's right. I'm not billionaire, but I'm wealthy enough. So he did it right away. And then he told me, Ken, I feel like so relieved. After 50 years, my pain is gone. I feel so free. So whenever you have like a funny issues around money, go heal, go forgive your parents. They could be younger than you, by now. They're in their 20s and 30s and they didn't know anything about money. They were as confused as anybody. So can you forgive
Right.
your parents for not having money? And if
Yeah.
you can do that, it'll free yourself and you get a
Wow.
totally new different world.
Right.
Wow.
How do you know what well, I guess you could have multiple triggers. How do you know what that one thing is?
It's usually a few things.
Okay.
Like I was denied for summer camps, I was denied college, couldn't get the scholarship. So that's why I didn't college, stuff like that. So that really stops you from doing what you want. Like, for example, when you really want to start your own business, like coaching business, but you're too afraid because you've been denied so many times about what you want to do in your life. So when you heal your past money wounds, you feel like renew or you feel so free you can do anything, and then you can give yourself permission, and also at the same time you feel like a lot of people will support you, like in America, just getting all the endorsements for my new book which will come out in May. I feel so shy for asking endorsements from big authors like Jack Canfield,
Oh,
Oh,
nice.
yes.
Lisa Nichols, and like, who am I to ask for that endorsement, right? But after healing so many wounds, I feel like people help me. My parents would help me. My friends would help me.
Aw.
I'm not shy when I ask something. I think probably American people are the same thing. American people are givers. You are very good at giving, but how about receiving? Are you good at receiving?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's true. Yeah. I mean, a lot of us grew up with money is the root of all evil. Money doesn't grow on trees. We were taught these things. They were ingrained at a young age for most of us, at least our age and younger and older. And so it's like, yeah, we had to view money as like the evil force,
Right.
and yeah, not as something good.
Yeah. So if you can just change that belief about money, money can be your best friend. Money can be your concierge desk person helping you to tickets to Japan or Italy, wherever you want to go. Money will be
Oh,
right there to support your
I'm ready.
dream.
Sign me up. I want to go
I
to
love it.
Japan. Going
Yes,
to Japan
yes.
is on my list.
Ken, our friend Suzanne Adams, she says we all have a divine blueprint. Can you share why this
A divine soul blueprint. Yeah.
a divine soul blueprint? Can you share why this is important in terms of an abundance mindset?
Yeah, this ties into number 6. I just prepared discover, develop, share your gifts. I think that's what we are born to do. I wrote a few books in Japanese on how to find your life purpose, ikigai. It's such an important concept. This ikigai is something that you are born with. That is something that why you're born. It usually comes with adversities, and then your gifts come with it. Like, say, when you had a tough time, tough childhood, like me, and later on, and when you heal the pain, when you grow out of it, you can help other people using the same techniques that you have done. A lot of people are teaching how to lose weight because they had the weight issues. There are so many terrible things happen to your life. Could be the training period for your life, so you can help other people who were in the same situation as you were. So I think there is this blueprint, and also finding your blueprint is a joy of life.
Yeah. What do you call it in Japanese? What's that word?
Ikigai.
How do you spell that?
Ikigai, IKI, Gai. There's a beautiful book actually on Ikigai. So I'm writing a book on Ikigai and happy money too, because Ikigai brings happy money. If you do what you love, money pours to you because money comes to you according to the people, how many people you helped, and how the quality of your service. The more
Wow.
service, the more people you serve, the more money you receive. Like an author, I've sold almost 9 million copies. So that means I helped 9 million people heal their money relationships, right?
Wow. Yeah. Congratulations.
Thank you. I receive a lot of money and I give away a lot of money. And that brings back another joy too. So the more you give, more you receive, more you give, more you receive. Life is made that way.
The energy flow. So we interviewed an Indian numerologist, and he said in India, the belief is if you win like a lottery or a bunch of money, he said, you give it all away.
A lot of, not all of it.
Well, I think he said, give most of it away. And I was like, wait, what? Isn't that the point of winning? That you're going to just like, yay, buy things. Do you believe in that philosophy?
Actually, I started testing that 21 years ago. I heard about this principle, what you give, what you receive. I didn't believe in that. I didn't buy into that. So I wanted to do some experiment. I printed my booklets and then I started giving away because a lot of people ask me about happiness and money. So I just started printing 3,000 copies and 5,000 and another 5,000. By the time I gave away 100,000 copies, publisher called me and the rest is history. I've written more than 80 books and just sold 9 million copies, right?
Wow.
And I ended up giving away 2.3 million physical booklets, which cost me about $3 million US.
Whoa.
Wow.
So I gave away $3 million for free. But look at what happened 20 years later. I sold 9 million copies. That translates roughly into 13 million US dollars. So I gave away 3 million. I got 13 million. So like I got 10 million surplus and I do other things. So I became even more wealthy by giving. So if you give more, you receive more. That is the law of attraction and law of abundance. But I'm not encouraging you to give everything away. Try 10 cents, try $1, try $10 and just start giving away and see what happens. It's a fun experiment.
Yeah, it is. There's this guy on Instagram, a couple of them, they go around and they randomly find, they'll do it. I don't know if you know this guy. He goes up and he'll see someone poor, like maybe even homeless, and say, hey, I need a bus ticket, but I'm $2 short. He'll purposely pick someone he knows doesn't really have the money. And then you'll find these people who are so incredibly generous. And they'll be like, well, I think I can scrap up $2. And then he goes, oh my God, thank you so much. You know what? I'm going to give you $500. And the person's like, what? Why would you do that? And they're usually like the type that like, no, I can't take that. And he's like, because you gave me your last $2. Like that was the test. It's such he does these little mini stories. It's very inspiring, the power that we have to do that, to raise someone's energy. And speaking of energy, would you say, because there's people who give out of guilt or obligation, or maybe even like, it's a tax write-off. Like, how would you say, is that different when you give from that energy versus like the joyful energy, how it comes back?
That's my favorite topic. I have to keep you for another 3 hours, but
okay.
I'll make it very short.
Okay.
I wrote a book called Happy Money. So when you give out freely without any guilt, that is happy money. And happy money usually brings friends and come back to you. But unhappy money, like, I don't want to pay, that unhappy money goes somewhere and never comes back.
Right.
Oh,
Okay.
So you have to clean out your guilt and your frustration. And then when you spend money, you have to say, bye-bye money. Bring your friends, lots of friends, and just say,
bring your friends.
Yeah. And then the money will
Give your
come.
friends my address. Here's my number.
Yes.
Don't lose it.
You know where to find me. So when your attitude is like that, from money's perspective, well, that was fun. Rome was so much fun. I should come back soon.
Oh, yes.
I love that. Yeah. Having fun with money, not taking it so serious, right?
So just give freely. Give without any expectation. Just enjoy because it's part of your life.
Okay, last question, because I know people who have done this. Maran and I are very generous tippers. We believe in tipping always.
Beautiful.
And just, hey, listen, like you got to do it. It's part of the process, right? But I have had people and friends who maybe went and got a haircut or a massage and didn't tip, or tipped really, really bad. And I would say to them, well, you can't do that. They rely on these tips and this is the standard tip, whatever, 20%, whatever it is. And they're like, well, it's too much money. That's just too much money. I'm not going to do it. And I'm like, well, if you can't, my philosophy is if you can't tip, then you actually shouldn't do the service. Or if you can't, because these people could actually afford it. They just thought it was too much money. So how do you feel about that? People who go out and either don't tip well or don't tip at all.
Okay, once again, I don't judge people. But I see
Oh, I guess I do.
I see what could happen. If you're stingy on yourself, the world will be stingy on you too. So your attitude, like, I don't want to give, that means like they don't want to give. So anything, so I'm not giving. So you're going down.
Right.
So that's their choice. So I wouldn't suggest that because what you give more, it comes back. My mentor, Dr. John Gray, he took me to a steakhouse one day, and then I asked him about a cultural protocol about tipping. And he said, American people usually tip about 15% to 25%, but sometimes I tip 50%. And then when we were at the restaurant, I've never seen a head waiter run so fast to Dr. Gray. He usually tips like 50%. He just zipped through us and took us to the best table in like 20 seconds. And that is what could happen after tipping somebody so well. And he was so happy to see Dr. Gray, So if you become like that, you will have beautiful opportunities. And then more you give, more you receive. So like you can be stingy on tips and all that. And you think nobody's watching, but the heaven is watching you.
Yes.
Right.
The abundance of God is watching you.
Is that the famous author, Dr. Gray?
Dr. John Gray?
Yeah. Men are from Mars.
Yes, Men Are From Mars. Okay, wow.
He is the must.
You were name dropping. You didn't even try to name drop. That was so good. That was so.
He is such a generous soul, like Mentor Wahid Takeda. So I'm surrounded by all the great mentors and happy people. That's why I'm becoming more successful. So the more you give, more you receive. So please don't be stingy. You can, but you're dragging yourself down. So either you want to go up by spending happy money or just being stingy and you go down.
You go down. Yeah. Everything's energy. I'll tell you, everything's energy. That could be the motto of our show. Well, this was so fun. We could talk to you for 3 more hours. But thank you so much for your time, for being with us today. We know you have a busy schedule and you're traveling and all of that, so we really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Guys, thank you. Arigato.
Arigato.
If you want to heal your relationship with money, you can learn more about Ken's incredible work at kenhonda.com.
And thanks for being with us today, friends. We'll have all the links in the show notes at ronalisa.com/podcast. And join us in 2 weeks for another episode and get ready to up-level your health. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you so much, Ken. Thank you. Thanks for blessing us.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
This episode of the Healthy Home Hacks podcast has ended, but be sure to subscribe for more healthy living strategies and tactics to help you create the healthy home you've always dreamed of. And don't forget to rate and review so we can continue to bring you the best content. See you on the next episode.